What if I told you that Valve, the company behind Steam, the Steam Deck, and some of the most influential games ever made, had once tried to compete directly with PlayStation and Xbox, and failed so hard that the industry basically forgot that it even happened? So yeah, before the Steam Deck, before Proton, before Steam OS matured, we had the Steam machines. A bold idea that completely crashed. But now Valve is back. A new next generation Steam machine, codenamed Fremont, is basically happening, and this time people are actually excited. So today we're going to be talking about what were the original Steam machines, why did they fail so badly, how did the Steam Deck change everything, and why is the new Steam machine generating so much hype like crazy. So let's get right on into it. To understand the hype around the new device, we gotta rewind back to like 2014, 2015, when Valve made one of its most ambitious moves ever. Valve wanted to bring PC gaming into the living room, console style. Their idea? A whole ecosystem of Steam machines, built by dozens of PC manufacturers, all running Valve's brand new Steam OS powered by Linux. Instead of one console, it was a lineup. Alienware, Zotac, Asus, CyberPower, each making their own versions at different sizes, different power levels, and wildly different prices. And you know, in theory, this sounded revolutionary. Console simplicity, PC power, Steam library access, controller first experience, free open software, but in reality, it was complete chaos. By mid-2016, the entire line had sold fewer than 500,000 units, which if you know anything about console numbers, that's basically nothing. And pretty soon, Steam machines quietly disappeared from Valve's store menu. They weren't discontinued, they were just gone. So what actually happened? Let's break down the 4 biggest reasons Valve completely face-planted with the original Steam machine project. Instead of making one killer console, Valve let dozens of companies build their own. And this pretty much led to different hardware, different shapes, different specs, prices from $450 to almost $2,000. Customers pretty much looked at the lineup and said, okay, but which one is the actual Steam machine here? And Valve had no clear answer. Steam OS wasn't ready, and this was a big one. Steam OS was Linux based, which meant most games people wanted to play didn't run on it. At the time, Proton didn't exist. Linux ports were rare. Developers weren't building games for Steam OS. So instead of PC gaming on your TV, Steam machines were like PC gaming but worse with fewer games. Because Steam OS had so many compatibility issues, some manufacturers started shipping their Steam machines with Windows instead, which pretty much defeated the entire purpose. You ended up with a tiny PC that cost more but did nothing special. Valve positioned it as a console competitor, but Sony and Microsoft were literally in their strongest generations. Think about it. This is when the PS4 and the Xbox were doing their big one. And at the same time, Windows 10 launched, DirectX 12 launched, PC prices dropped, consoles got cheaper, VR hype started taking over, the machine just didn't offer a compelling reason to exist. So the project fizzled out. But here's the twist. That failure taught Valve everything they needed to eventually succeed. Fast forward to 2022, Valve releases the Steam Deck and it instantly becomes a hit. Not because it's the most powerful handheld, but because Valve fixed the 2 biggest problems the original Steam machine had. Number 1 was control of the hardware. Valve designed the deck themselves. They optimized Steam OS for one device, not 20 OEM boxes. Updates were consistent, support was consistent, and the hardware felt unified and deliberate. Number 2, Proton became a monster. In 2015, Linux gaming was a meme. In 2025, Proton runs most Windows games shockingly well. Developers didn't need to port anything. Gamers didn't need to tweak anything. Suddenly, SteamOS wasn't a liability, it was a strength. The Steam Deck actually sold millions. Analysis estimate 1.6 million units in 2022 alone, around 4 million sold by early 2025. Valve finally had proof that they could build hardware people wanted, and that then laid the foundation for something even bigger. This brings us to the present moment, Valve's new next-gen living room console codenamed Fremont. Here's everything we know from reports and leaks. The hardware, a small, compact, tissue box size unit with a Zen 4 6-core AMD CPU, RDNA 3-base GPU, quiet cooling, PC-style storage expansion, multiple USB ports, Ethernet, run SteamOS natively. Performance is expected to land somewhere around the PS5 level, depending on the game. They also have a new Steam controller. Valve is working on a modernized version of the Steam controller with better haptics, better ergonomics, better trackpad. It's built to mimic the Dex controls and add features tuned for living room gaming. So the price and the release window are also not officially announced, but reports suggest launch early 2026 window, and people are thinking that the price range is going to be between $600 to $800 depending on the model. But remember, nothing is locked in yet, we don't know for sure. But here's the million-dollar question: why do gamers trust Valve this time when the first Steam machine flopped? I think their stuff is just now proven, like Proton and SteamOS, which was the biggest problem back in 2015. Now most Steam games actually work. There are millions of happy Steam Deck users. They already kind of have a built-in audience. They have a unified hardware design and not just a bunch of different ones. One machine, one experience, no fragmentation. They also are gonna have a huge gaming library of games that people already own. Thousands of Steam games, mods, saves, cloud syncs, achievements. The Steam console already has a massive ecosystem, and it's almost like it's perfect timing. People want a cheaper alternative to high-end PCs, a console that lets them use mods, a machine that plays their existing library, which is huge, something that's more open than the PlayStation and the Xbox. And the Steam machine seems like it's gonna hit all those spots. So will Valve finally succeed? Will the Steam machine be the hybrid console PC we've been waiting for? And can this redefine how we think about gaming hardware? If it's saying that it's gonna do all this stuff and the price is right, I think that's the key. The price has to be right for this to work out. I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments below. To me, this new system looks really good. Again, heavily waiting for the price to come out, and I will keep you guys updated when I do hear that. But what do you think about this new Steam machine? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I go live every week discussing the newest game news and chatting with all of you guys. It's always a great time, and I'd love to see you there. Thanks for watching. Pause for now, play forever. AK out.